the shit, we just trying to wake up the people at the grassroots, those old Mississippian, them country boys. We trying to wake up Big Mama daughters.
Straight up.
You know what I'm saying? The Oye, the Yimmy Ya, the Oshun. Hey, this a rap.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, that's a public declaration, as you said, man. Especially when you spoke about, you know, we used to go into the town hall and read off who was born and who did what, man. That's real shit, bro. It all resonates with the soul.
That's how we used to do it.
Yeah.
And then some of us vaguely remember it. When you mention it, they be like, yeah, I kind of like remember that shit.
Like it's down there a blurry movie playing and the nigga shit. Let me show you this real quick, cause I like to let me verify some of the shit you talk about in person, man, right here on the phone, so we can understand who with us and who against us for real. So bro told us to always keep us a Black Laws dictionary. So when you look at de facto, he speaks about de facto and de jure. De facto is existing and having effect even though not normally or legally recognized, illegitimate but in effect. De facto government is illegitimate but in effect, and that's who the fuck this 10 by 10 corporation is that said that our landmass crashed their motherfucking ship. You feel me? Yep. Come on, bro. Now, last one is de jure, the OG, and then you good to go, man. Let me see. I appreciate this, man, because all we got to do, I'm going to leave one. Let me say this real quick. De jure. Existing by right or according to law. Birthright to the earth right. First right. You feel me? That's all he been saying this whole time, putting this shit together, man. You feel me? I just want to say this, man. We got to reclaim our shit. We got to tribe up. We got to get the imposters out. Everybody do their job. If you got to rebound, if you got to shoot, if you got to set a pick. You feel me? But the main thing is the self-identification of this shit, man. You feel me? And the weed out the imposters, man. That's it.
Look,
that's all I got to say, OG. Do your thing.
I dived out of bounds to save the ball in order to keep the play alive.
You know what I'm saying? The
bust my motherfucking
head. Yes, sir. I'm with the shits, dog. For real. So
right. So now our oral tradition is that we demand that the chiefs come forth and get a report. They call it a state. They call it the State of the Union address.
Yeah.
And we used to call it the report of the land. It's a report that the chiefs got to give.
Yeah.
Larry is the spokesperson for the chiefs on the land.
Yeah.
So when we say free Larry Hoover, because he got to come and say why the fuck Assata Shakur can't come home.
Straight up.
Right? That's part of the report.
Yeah.
Right? Who got all of our leaders locked up in the prison? Who is these motherfuckers? He gonna say they was 32-degree Scottish Rite Freemasons from Europe that came over to usurp.
Jacob.
Right?
Yeah.
They came over as black Jews. They blended in with us and made deals with the enemy. They created the fictitious front of pale faces to block the institutions.
Rothschild, blood shields. And you be tying that shit together, cuz.
So while they hiding in our communities, pretending to be activists, pretending to be civil rights leaders, right? All the time they trying to make us believe that we came on ships and we don't have no birthright to the land, so they can say, well, it's abandoned like they did in the New Orleans Purchase.
Straight the fuck
up. So if you don't know what they did in the New Orleans Purchase, you don't know what they're trying to do now.
Right. Yeah.
They do the same shit, repeat over and over, and if you can't see it, you won't never catch your way out.
Yes, sir.
That's how you flip out the loop. So I appreciate you going back and doing your due diligence, because it showed the people that you don't got to believe me. If you go check it out, you're going to know it for yourself then.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And each one teach one, we can reach something. Like, I hold on to it if it's solid, bro. You feel me? If it's legit. Like you say, raise the matriarch. We always been a matriarch. The pharaohs were women, but the kings were crowned by the women. You know what I'm saying? So, and speaking on one last thing, man, free Larry Hoover, because I understand that he's a political prisoner. And when you say free Larry Hoover, you're saying free all the political prisoners. So it's not just, oh, a gang leader, none of that shit. All that shit is cap. We understand that Crips was what? A protective thing at first. So COINTELPRO played into that, man. And now it really makes sense with the Three Kings and who Larry Hoover is. They know who he is. That's why they got him in that motherfucker like that. You feel me?
Yeah. Man, these people did way personally worse than Larry Hoover that's walking the street right now that got slapped on the wrist.
Straight up.
They wasn't a threat to the system.
Exactly. Now, can I say this off that live as far as being a threat to the system? The only man that neutralized an entire inner city and was able to blockade a whole vote, nigga, for you either gonna represent us or you not. It's gonna be in Chicago. It was gonna be 600,000 black votes for whoever he said it was gonna be for, bro. You feel me? That's power.
21st century vote.
That's power.
Yeah, and it wasn't just GDs. It was Vice Lord.
Yes, sir.
It was Stone.
Yeah.
Four Corner Hustlers.
And they try to make it like they was beefing though. You feel me?
They always do that.
Yeah, COINTELPRO shit.
We can take the 91 riots in Los Angeles after Rodney King verdict to show you what they was doing because they got caught.
Yeah.
Dressing up like Crips, shooting up the blood.
Straight the fuck up. Straight up. Yeah.
One case they had a set. They rolled through. The Bloods and the Crips is having, one of them West Coast backyard parties.
Yes, sir.
And the niggas that's rolling through screaming the set out of the niggas that's back there with the Crips.
Come on. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
They told the Crips, they said, don't even worry about it. They lit the Bloods who said they was calling out, lit that motherfucker up, and they coming to find out it was police.
Yep. Yeah.
So I be getting the reports on the land, what's going on. I be paying attention to shit that go up over the regular people here, because my job is monkey flip, monkey in the middle, catch that key when it come over your head.
Yes, sir.
Right? So then I got to be able to talk to all of the people across the land, across all of the tribes.
Yeah.
Because we all had a common enemy, a common threat. We use different means in order to overcome the threat.
Yeah.
I just so happen to be able to point out the different means that we use. This is why Prince Hall had to go into the York Rite and put the secrets in the public domain.
Yes, sir.
This is why Noble Drew Ali had to go into the Moorish Zionist Temple of Islam and put the secrets in the public domain. They knew who we were. They never wanted us to be aware of who we were.
Yes, sir.
Right? So it's all based on Morals and Dogma by Albert Pike.
Hey, real quick, because that book, it's everything in there, and you reference that book, and I notice a lot of people that try to dispel what you say, they never really tapped into Morals and Dogma that's telling the whole story.
Yeah. So when you put the Morals and Dogma alongside the Protocols of Zion, then you just go through a series of Q&A. Is this being done to us today?
Yeah.
Gonna fuck your brain.
Straight up.
Everything they said in those books they've been doing it.
Relevance
Whatever,
to the present.
In the free will universe, whatever they do to you, they got to give you the right to discover it.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes,
and
sir.
some of us is less comfortable with the conditions we under than others. So we're going to look twice as hard for the exit.
Yeah.
I'm the most uncomfortable motherfucker out of all of us.
Come on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, social media, I hate that shit with a passion. But you know what? I can reach my people.
No, but that shit give me a push and inspiration, because I don't fuck with none of this shit. You feel me? Cameras, social media, come on, man. I don't be into this shit, bro. But I know that I can read the times. You feel me? And it's about that time, because the shit oversaturated, but I was able to find you in the midst of the saturation. You know what I'm saying? That can continue that can have a continuity of the growth and the souls unraveling and getting to where the fuck we need to be at, man, for real. So we rocking with you, man. I'm from. All right, so before I get up out of here, man, shout out to the whole land. My ancestors come from Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, and Georgia. Um, and I was fourth generation Detroit. My great grandmother moved to who? Come on, man. She used to always tell us that we had Cherokee Indian. That her dad was a Cherokee chief, and they moved up to Detroit or Illinois first in the 20s or the 30s, and then she moved to Detroit, and that's how we got to Detroit. You feel me? So I was fourth generation, born and raised in Detroit. But we all got it from the South, and we all been told that we got Indian in our family. Our grandmothers ain't no liars, bro. You feel me? Straight up. So yeah, man, it's love, man. Do your thing, man. I ain't trying to hold you too much longer. I appreciate this shit, man, and I look forward to getting on and building more. You feel me? Keep dropping that shit, cause the real chiefs around the land, OG chief, we getting this motherfucker and we cracking. You feel me?
For sure. All we gotta do is let them know. This right here is this video is very important. So anybody watching it that can post it on YouTube, it would be greatly appreciated.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Gorilla knocking on these niggas. We gorilla knocking on your whole ass. Get up out this bitch. All right, I gotta go pick up my daughter, man. Much love, peace to you, God. Appreciate you, Big Chief. I'ma holler at you.
For sure, for sure. Peace
All right,
out.
brother. Yep. That shit was awesome.
It's a political part. It's a jurisdiction. And if you agree to that jurisdiction, then you have these particular set of organized rules and so on and so forth, and you have the protection of said trust, which is the difference between being in the public trust and your straw man and being within the private. Let's say, for instance, if you were with the mosque or the NOI, you know what I mean? You would have the protection of those groups of people. So if you could expound on that, and then the difference between the OOR and the UUR, please.
Well, the UUR was Amaru. It was AMUURU. The Amaru is the tribal designation that they trying to say is the same as a MOOR more. They not the same, right? When you look at the Moors, they try to get anything with an M and an R in it out of history and say, see, we was ancient Moors here. And the word be something like Mirafaka. That's not Moor. You know, like for instance, a good one is the Kemetic term mir. The Kemetic, they say this is the Moors, the mir. Well, you motherfuckers is some spaceships. Because that's what a flying apparatus is, a mir in Kemetic. It's the same thing in Hebrew. A mir is a ship, a plane, a flying apparatus. That's not the same thing. Then they try to use that as the dogmatic influence. Remember, Albert Pike issued the righteous the challenge between morals and dogma. Was you going to pursue the moral path or the dogmatic pursuit? Let's go back to a little history lesson. Let's go back to when the Moorish Temple of Science, a civics organization, was formed. When the Moorish civics organization was formed, it was formed to give us a tribe in the public domain in a system that they had no jurisdiction over. But somebody inside of the lodges signed some kind of a contract that made you become a U.S. national Moor. If you look on the back of your nationality card, it's going to say that this Moor is a U.S. national. That's a contradictory idea in and of itself, in that the U.S. is a foreign corporation masquerading as a de jure agency of government, right? So who is these people? They come in the legal fashion, they barristers. Barrister, if you look it up, is a title of nobility. And in the barristers union, you have honorables and esquires in rank. Esquires are the ones who are practicing the arguments on the floor. The honorables is the ones who sit and referee the argument between the two opposing sides in order for the barristers to get done administering the estate. The estate is governed by the lords. The lords are the landlords, right? Lords is a title of nobility.
Yep.
These are what we call real estate tycoons. Those who own massive amounts of real estate, but they don't have a domicile. They don't have a direct home. They do that because they don't have the same arrangements in law when they are owners of the land as opposed to what we call domiciles on the land. So we talking about somebody that's walking around as a ghost versus somebody walking around in flesh and blood. We talking the difference in a Dred Scott 3/5 compromised Negro that got no rights that a white man, which is a free white person in law, which is a Moor, is bound to respect. The whole purpose of doing the paperwork is to activate the status as free white person in law that makes you above the jurisdiction of the authorized bar associations of King George III. King George III issued the first charter for barristers to come and administer the estates of the landlords in what they call commerce and enterprise in the New World. That's what they agreement was, or they commission was from King George. So they became the ones who argued contract. When they issue a warrant is an ongoing declaration of war. The U.S. Supreme Court already ruled that the people that look like us are not part of their system, and they are ongoing enemy combatants. This been in the law since the law been over here from their system. They never overturned any of that. Dred Scott haven't been overturned. They still see us as 3/5 compromised Negroes. When we become 5/5 realized, then we understand that the key to America is on the face of the dollar bill, and the contractors is there on the face of the dollar bill, right? The United States Treasury and the Treasurer of the United States. Who in the fuck is these motherfuckers, and where's they at? And how is they making contracts and don't nobody know that they made a contract?
Exactly.
Right? So
Right.
under the Fair Debt Collection Act nullifies, voids out all of the contracts for what we call non-disclosure in law. The non-disclosure is they never told you that they were an interim government that was operating to reestablish the original governments of the land. Instead, they went rogue and decided to establish their own government on our land under the pretense that we will never figure out who we are. We will always think that we Moors, and we'll never know that we was at odds with the Moors in order to establish this land over here as the original de jure occupants of the land. When you get to the history, it tells you clearly that the Moors used to auction off the POWs. And you can find that in a book called Moors and Freemasonry, where it's talking about the auctions and the different prices is the status of the ones being auctioned. All of that's in there, but they thinking that it means something else. That's the slave block. Them motherfuckers, they was POWs, they was ransoming off, was us. They was selling us between themselves to do their bidding for them and to have children so they can kill us off and raise our kids and never know who they were. So now we don't know who he is. Our knowledge is took, a state of darkness, triple darkness, eternal death. And the only way to come back from it is to come back to life. Kill your straw man, your doppelganger, your imposter. Once you kill your imposter by asserting your 5/5 status in the public domain by public notice with no paperwork attached, because that's the trick. The barristers have it set up where anything that you file, driver's license, birth certificates, all of these adhesion contracts is designed nationality cards. When you start signing this paperwork with these people, we already been infiltrated. So they designed to take you right back to the system. So the good question just came up. What about the American rights of the indigenous people? That's the I fucked you good note on the prostitute's dresser when the John is leaving.
Damn.
That's the I told you that all your shit belonged to me, but now I'm telling you I was just lying and I fucked you good. That's all it's saying. They just telling us what we already know, but they had to tell it to us because they're not gonna believe it coming from one of us.
And that's the problem. Don't nobody believe nothing we say. If the Caucasian ain't said it, then it's not true. That's what's the problem.
And this is the reason why that's exists. Because the dirty Moors, black